it up, put the hip shit on the shelf. Cause the way the real wealth is being real itself. My dad can see the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. It's time to switch it up, put the hip shit on the shelf. Cause the way the real wealth is being real itself. My dad can see the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. Money. All you guys are like, oh, they're wealthy. Like Kanye West said, having money is not everything, not having it is. No, Deuteronomy 8:10 says God gives us the ability to create wealth. No, it's the love of money that's involved. You don't want money so much, right? He doesn't go to work for it, right? He doesn't get involved on the things that he thinks I'm just trying to leave a legacy for money. Not everything, but when you got it, you can do some cool stuff. Now, your host for Talking Money in the Morning, financial health mentor to the working class, Mr. Cortez.
Good morning, and welcome to Talking Money in the Morning Live with your main man, H. Cortez, one and only financial health mentor to the working class, where I do my absolute best to bring practical yet proven wealth building strategies to working men and women all over this great nation of ours. Truly count it an honor, privilege, and a blessing to be coming to you guys each and every morning. I love you guys for tuning in to hear what this father, husband, mentor has to say about the topics that we cover, discuss: wealth, finance, business, entrepreneurship, mindset, whatever it is. You guys are always coming each and every morning. I really appreciate that. I thank you guys. Today we're talking about belief. What do you believe about XYZ? So we'll get into that as we go on throughout the show. But again, thank you guys for tuning in. It is my honor, privilege, and pleasure. Do me a huge favor. If you're checking us out on YouTube, then grab that link, share the link on your favorite timeline. Or your favorite social media platform, whether it is Facebook, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, wherever you like to share links, share the link for me. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. That way you get notifications as I do other live webinars and other videos. And I continue to try to feed you the best quality and best valuable content that I can get my hands on. I try to share it through my YouTube channel as well as Facebook. And then, so that brings me to Facebook. If you're checking us out on the Facebook live stream, then do me a favor, share the stream on your timeline. But also, if you know some people that may be struggling with belief and trying to figure out how to get some beliefs straightened out in their life so they can be more productive, so they can have more, so they can do more, then you can actually hit share. You can invite people specifically by typing their name in when you hit invite. So that's cool. Do me a favor, share the stream, and let's get right down to it, guys. In case you stumbled on this show on accident, I always like to let you know each and every morning who this show is for. This show is for risers and grinders. If you're ready to get up, get out, and get something this morning, this is your show. If you're the type of person that says, you know what, yes, I know that I said my prayers last night. I know that a blessing is coming, but faith without works is dead. I've got to get up and do something. I've got to start meeting God halfway in order to get the things that I want in my life. When it says he's going to open up the window of heaven and pour down an abundance of blessings, I know that's not literal. That means as I'm taking actions, he's going to bring people across my path. He's going to bring resources into my life, and that's where my blessings come from. So I'm going to do something to make sure that I'm getting my blessings. If you're the type of person who, like me, say, you know what, last night before I laid down and went to sleep, I'm thinking about, what am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to do next week, next month, next year, next 5 years, to make sure that I have a legacy cemented, to make sure that my children's children's children are going to be proud to bear my last name? If that is you, then this is your show. On the other hand, if you are that type of person that thinks money is evil, capitalism is a dirty word, you're already in the car. You think money is evil, capitalism is a dirty word, you think wealthy people are jerks, then this ain't your show, man. If you don't like the fact that I just said the word money 13 times in the last 10 seconds or so, this is not your show. If you're sitting back waiting on Donald Trump to fix the economy instead of focusing on your economy, this ain't your show. If you're the type of person who can't do anything unless you get the approval of others, this ain't your show, man, because we're a group of action takers, and we're the type of people who attract money, prosperity, peace and blessings, love, light into our lives. And if you don't want any of that stuff, you might want to tune out. Now, let's be clear. I have absolutely no problem with you not wanting to be wealthy. That's your prerogative. You may already be wealthy. You may already be content with where you are with your lot in life. I'm not. I only have a problem with you when you have a problem with me wanting to be wealthy. I can't understand for the life of me why my aspirations bothers other people. So if that's you, this is not your show. You can tune out, exit, stay left. But like I tell you each and every morning, if you've never seen a future billionaire before, and yes, that's billion with a B, then I want you to take a screenshot and I want you to hold me to it and watch me work. Chances are you got to sit on the sideline, cheer for me, cheer against me. That makes me no never mind. But what I advise you to do is get in the game with me. Today's show is brought to you by, I got two sponsors for today's shows. Number one is Best Services Unlimited LLC. My girl Yvette Best. If you guys have not already booked your appointment with Yvette to get your taxes done, to get a business consultation, to figure out how you can take advantage of the tax deductions for your business, you need somebody who understands business and how, and in particular, how to take all of the deductions that are afforded to you because you have a home-based business. That's what Yvette specializes in. So she wants to help you maximize your return, but also make sure that you're recording all of your business tax deductions correctly so that you don't have any problems in the future as you continue to grow and build your business. She wants to make sure you lay down a solid foundation for your business taxes as well as your personal taxes. You can give her a call at 770-829-0082, or you can go over to the website at bsullc.us. That's B as in boy, S as in Sam, U as in umbrella, LLC.us. And you can also go over to Amazon.com and check out her book, Maximizing Your Tax Refund, 35 Surefire Ways to Get More from Your Return. $8.99 goes straight to your Kindle, and you can get it, get that, and start understanding some of the education and the knowledge that she pours into the people who partner with us. Sponsor number two is Young Biz Kids, a nonprofit organization here in the St. Louis area. I happen to sit on the board for this organization, and we teach entrepreneurship to the babies. And when we say we teach entrepreneurship, we don't just teach them what the definition of entrepreneurship is. We don't just teach them a few principles. We teach them how to run their own businesses. They partner with us, and we take them through a class, and we give them all the coaching and the help that we help them develop products, and then we have a marketplace at the end of those sessions where they actually make money. That's Young Biz Kids. So to learn more about that, go to youngbizkids.org. Young Biz, B-I-Z, Kids, K-I-D-Z.org. And I know some of you guys are not in the St. Louis area. You're thinking about, man, that's a program that I want my children to be involved in. Go to the website. On the top, you will see newsletter. Sign up for our newsletter because top of the year, we're going to be rolling out our online curriculum. So your children will be able to get to webinars, live video conferences, and things of that nature. And we can help them virtually as we start to build and spread this thing all over the country. Youngbizkids.org. So let's get right into it today, guys. We're talking about, what do you believe? What do you believe? The reason what you believe is so important is because I don't know if you guys really understand or ever think about it, but belief is the beginning and the ending of your success and or failure. Belief is both the beginning and the ending of your success or failure. What you believe determines how you think. How you think determines your actions. So if you don't check what you believe, then you won't have the right thought process. And if you don't have the right thought process, then you don't take the right actions to get the results. So belief can literally be the beginning of your success, or it can be the ending of your success. It can literally be the beginning of your failure, or it could be the ending of your failure. What do you believe? Right? So I'm going to talk about the belief in the cycle of success and failure, but I just want you to roll out. I'm going to roll out all 7 of these points. How you believe determines how you think, your thought process. How you think determines your how you speak, right? Your thoughts turn into words and otherwise, but your thoughts are rooted in how you believe. So how you believe determines how you think. How you think determines how you speak. How you speak determines the actions that you will take, right? Because your words will turn into actions. The actions that you take will eventually become habits. And guess what? The actions that you don't take also become habits. I'm going to say that again. The actions that you take become habits, but the actions that you don't take also become habits, right? People have a habit of sitting on their butt all day doing nothing. That's a habit. The actions that you take become habits. The actions that you don't take become habits. So we're talking about belief and how you believe. So your belief will lead to the way that you think. The way that you think leads to the way that you speak. And we all know that the empire we are living in, or the shack that we are living in, is being built with the words that come out of our mouth every day. You are speaking your existence every day. So if you're not careful about what you say, then chances are that's why you're living the way you're living. Chances are that's why you are where you are in life, is because of what you're saying, right? Words are seeds. Words are the building blocks of what we do. Words are the beginning phases of manifestation of everything in our lives. It starts with how we believe, what we think, what we say. And what we say, we tend to believe. So when you're talking negatively, then you believe negatively about everything around you. And all of a sudden you find yourself living in a negative situation. But if what you say is positive and what you believe, because you believe what you say, you see everything in a positive light and you just live a positive lifestyle. So how you believe determines your thought process. Your thought process determines your words. Your words determine your actions. Your actions determine your habits. Your habits dictate your character. Because what is character? It is who you are when nobody's looking. Your character is who you are when no one is looking. And that comes from the habits that you've established. And then your character determines your destiny. And then your character determines your destiny. And at any point where you're looking like you're not headed towards the destiny that you want, you go all the way back to how you believe. And that's where it changes. So your belief system and how you believe is the beginning and the ending of your success or failure, right? You can change the way you believe, and you can start having success right now if you're not already. And guess what? A simple shift in your belief can change and cause your success to come to an abrupt halt and turn it into failure. But on the other hand, if you're failing right now and you get your belief system right, the belief can be the end. It can be the beginning or the end of your failure, right? See, it can be the beginning of your success, so you can turn yourself around right now by how you believe, but it can also be the end of your failure. If you're failing right now, you're not having the success you were having right now, I guarantee you it's because how you're believing in these 3 areas. How you're believing in these 3 areas. We're going to get to these 3 areas in a second, right? So make sure if you're not speaking right, and we all know people who just are pessimistic to the core. And where does that come from? It comes from what they believe and how they believe in these 3 areas, right? And I'm gonna give them to you right now. Let's start with number 3, and let's go from 3 to 2 to 1. So number 3, how does the people around you, what do they believe about you, right? The people around you, is important for you to understand what they believe about you. Because if you're not careful, the people around you could believe something negative about you, and that could be a reason that they speak curses into your life 24/7. Right? Every time you have a bright idea, they tell you why you'll never accomplish it. Where does that come from? What you see, we call it hate, but where does the hate come from? It comes from their belief about you. When people believe that you're not capable of accomplishing something, even if those people love you, you tell them you're gonna do X, Y, Z. They don't want to see your heart broken because they don't believe you can accomplish anything. They don't believe you've ever accomplished anything. So they will tell you that, hey, that might be a little too ambitious for you. Right? You sure you want to go about it that way? See that those kinds of conversations come from what those people around you believe about you. And if you're around people who are not believing the right things about you, then it's bye, Felicia. You cannot continue to spend quality and quantity time around people who believe the wrong things about you. And I don't care what your history is. Like I said, the minute you change your belief, you change everything that happens in and for your life, the rest of your life. So you may not have ever accomplished anything in your life, ever. But because you change your belief, now you're on the right path to doing and changing and to accomplishing things. So you need to be around people who believe that the same way that you believe, their beliefs align with you about you. So yes, their chances are that you never accomplish anything. But I just told you, if you change your belief, all of that changes. Because you literally become a different person every time you change your belief. Literally, you become something or someone different every time. Every time. This is why people rarely change, because they rarely change their core beliefs. And some people have some jacked up core beliefs and need to change. And that's why they will never become who they need to become to have the successes and the things that they want to have in life, because they don't know that it's rooted in their beliefs. They will change everything about them but how they believe. And as a result, they can't put their finger on why they can't succeed. So what do the people around you believe about you? What do the people around you believe about you? It's important to understand, because if the people around me, if their belief don't line up with what I believe about me, and I'm going in a different direction, then I have to change those people around me, right? Now, I give them a chance to show them that I believe differently, that I'm becoming something different, that I'm really going to follow through and all of that kind of stuff. But there's an old ancient African proverb that says, when you can't change the people around you, change the people around you. Right? When you can't change the people around you, change the people around you. Right? So how do you believe, and what do the people around you believe about you? Right? That's number one, right? And then number two, or that's number three. So number three is, what do the people around you believe about you? So we're going from three to one. So three is, what do the people around you believe about you? Right? Give me a second, guys. I got to plug in my charger. I didn't charge my phone overnight, so I don't want the stream to stop on you guys. All right, there we go. All right, my bad for that. So number three is, what do the people around you believe about you? And that's important, guys, because I teach my children that, yes, I want you to, the three phases, you go from As a baby, you're very dependent, right? You can't do anything for yourself, so you depend on those around you, right? And then as you evolve, you start becoming independent, meaning, okay, now I know I can do some things for myself, so I can depend a lot more on myself as we grow older, right? And then the height of evolution is not to become independent. I know some people who are so freaking independent that they're literally killing themselves because they need help, and they don't understand that we are designed by our Creator to not be independent. Yes, independent in the sense that I can be relied upon. I can rely upon myself to get certain things accomplished, but as a community, as a social structure, the pinnacle of our evolution is interdependence. It's interdependence. So we go from being very dependent, where I need help from everybody else because I can't do anything for myself. Then we evolve to being independent, where I can do everything for myself. But the height of our evolution is to be interdependent, where I don't need to depend on others. I want to depend on others, and I want them to depend on me, because I know another ancient African proverb that I live by is to go fast is to go alone. To go far is to go together. So at the pinnacle of our evolution, there is interdependence. I allow myself to be vulnerable enough to rely on the expertise of others, and then I be independent enough and reliable enough for others to be able to lean on and depend on me. Interdependence. That takes us a certain level of maturity, right? So what people believe about you is important because you're seeking that interdependence. But if people believe that you're a moron, if people believe you're a colossal failure, then those are you can't build with people like that. Because even as you start to succeed, those are the very people who are praying for your fall. And guess what? When I pray to have success in my own life and my prayers are answered, guess what? When people are praying for your fall, there's an entity that answered their prayers too. So you don't want people in your circle praying for your fall because of what they believe about you. Right? Number two, what do you believe about the people around you? Now, number three was what do they believe about you? Number two is what do you believe about them? Right? So for instance, my family. All right, back. My family, I believe about them that they deserve to have the world, physically possess the world. This is what I believe about them. That woman right there who just gave me that sugar, right? What do I believe about her? I believe that she deserves to have this entire world in the palm of her hand, and I aim to give it to her. See, what do you believe about the people around you? Again, your beliefs will dictate your thought process. Your thought process will dictate the words that come out of your mouth. The words that come out of your mouth will turn into actions. Those actions will turn into habits. Those habits will create your character. Your character determines your destiny. What do you believe about the people around you? Because what you believe about them determines how you talk to them, how you communicate with them, the actions that you take as it relates to them. And some of us have people around us that we believe the worst about those people, which causes us on one end to try to be great in and of ourselves as we're trying to produce and build and do all of this stuff. But we got people around us that we believe the worst about. So now we have a natural conflict. As I'm speaking positive about me and about this group of people that's in my life, but then I speak negatively about this group of people in my life. So that's a natural conflict. So I've got positive words that I'm building up over here and I'm tearing down over here. What do you believe about the people in your life? If you're trying to be optimistic all the time, then you need to be around people that you believe and see the best in, so you don't have that conflict. So you need to believe the best in everything and everybody, because that keeps you in the love and light state. But if you are, and I'm not, well, if you are attached to someone you can't stand, but at the same time you can't let that person go, you'll never hit the heights that you're able, because you're going to have that I can't stand this person, so everything that comes out of my mouth when I'm looking in this direction is negative. So then how are you going to build a positive future when half of the words that come out of your mouth is negative because of the way you believe about the people around you? If you can't change the way you believe so that you can start speaking and believing positive things about everybody all the time in your presence, you need to get those people out of your presence. So everybody that I'm around, I only believe and see the best in them. I'm giving them positive energy. I'm lifting them up. I'm being encouraging, because that feeds my character, and my character determines my destiny. Keep telling you guys, the lyrics from India Arie's song says, the words that come from your mouth, you're the first to hear. So if 50% of the time the words that come out of my mouth are positive, because I'm dealing with people that I believe positive things about, I'm the first to hear those positive words. So even before they hear them, I'm speaking positivity, love, and light into myself first. But if 50% of the time I'm around people that I believe negatively about, guess what? Those words that come out of my mouth, I'm also the first to hear. So as I'm speaking down to them, negative to them, I'm also speaking that into my own life. So 50% of the time I'm speaking love and light. The other 50% of the time I'm speaking death and destruction. What do you believe about the people around you that's affecting the benefits of you believing in yourself? Because whenever you're around negative people who you believe negatively about, it turns you into a negative person. And if you're spending 50% of your time around people like that, then 50% of the time you're negative, 50% of the time you're positive. Those two cancel out. So you're going to be stagnant in your life until you fix how you believe or what you believe about the people around you. And if you can't believe positive about the people around you, then you might have to get them people away from around you. Right? 3 areas we're talking about. What do you believe? What do those around you believe about you? Because that determines whether they're going to speak life or death into your life. What do the people around you believe about you? Because it determines whether they're going to speak life or death into your life. And I not only need to be speaking life and life and positively and love and light into my life, but I also can use the support of others doing the same thing, speaking love, speaking life into my life, right? Because we all have those down moments where there may come a day where I, for whatever reason, hit a stump in the road, and now I'm speaking death into my life. And then I happen to go around the wrong person who also believes that for me. And now they just start double dosing and triple dosing. Now I'm speaking death. They're also speaking death. It's crazy, right? So you don't want that. I only want to be around people who believe a certain way about me. So if I am down in the dumps, these people aren't speaking death when I'm speaking death at the same time in my life. I might be down in the dumps. So when I get around everybody that I get around, they speak life into me and they resuscitate me. They resuscitate me. So I rarely have down moments, because I got a beautiful wife back there, or she just left now, but she tells me all the time, you're the greatest, babe. You can do anything. I ain't never seen you do anything that you put your mind to where it wasn't a colossal success. So if this too is what you want to do, I got you, babe. You can do it. My children, it's so funny. And I really feel for guys who struggle with baby mama stuff. I feel for guys who haven't figured it out and they spend 90% of their time away from their children. When I look at my children and they look back at me, I know they see a superhero. When I look into the eyes of my children and the way they look back at me, I know they see a superhero. And it's the funniest thing, man. It's the funniest thing. But when you have people in your life that believe in you like that, that builds your belief. And I feel for for guys who got kids, moms who got kids and they can't be in their lives 24/7. I couldn't imagine, man. I couldn't imagine. Right? My wife and I got 5 children. You know, she had 2 from a previous marriage, and then we had 3 more. And then I raised a cousin and a nephew. 7 boys have come through this house, and got a great nephew that spends a lot of time over here now. So, and just to have people look up to you like that and know that they can count on you. My kids will say some of the darndest things or ask for some of the most outlandish things, and they ask for them with full confidence, no matter how grand it is, with full confidence that Pops is going to come through. And that's a wonderful thing, guys, to have others believe in you so strongly. It just feeds you. I'm fed every day by people who love me. So be careful about the people you have around you, especially right now if you're struggling to believe in yourself. If you're struggling to believe in yourself right now, you really, really, really got to be careful who you have around you. Because that's probably why you're struggling. Because you're having people around you who are speaking death and destruction into your life instead of speaking love and life. Right? So what do you believe about the people around you? Because that will keep you on an even keel. And then the last one you guys already know. You should already know the last one. What do you believe about you? What do you believe about you? Critically important. Now, those first 2 can be detrimental if you don't have this one down pat. But if you have this one down pat, those 2 can't do anything. Those other 2 can't do anything. So I give you the first 2 just in case you're struggling to get to the first one. But once you get the first one, the 2 and 3 are irrelevant when you get the first one. What do you believe about you? The book I read says all things are possible for him or her that believes. See, when you get 1 down pat, 2 and 3 becomes obsolete. 2 and 3 is necessary as you're struggling to get 1 down pat. Necessary. But when you get 1 down pat, 2 or 3 just becomes icing on the cake. But 1 is the cake. What do you believe about you? And you guys hear me say it on this show all the time, what I believe about me. Number 1, I believe that I am a God under the Most High God. That's what the book I read tells me. And some of you guys read the same book, but you cringe when I say that. And here's why. Because to be a God under the Most High God means I take full responsibility for the world that I'm creating. Right? So if God created the world, then as a God, then I create a world within his world. And I'm fully responsible for that. And the last thing that we want to be in this day and age is responsible. Not me. If my world is upside down, it's my fault. I'm fully responsible for that. And I know that. And that's why every step I take is carefully calculated, ordered by my Creator, so that I can create my world in the same fashion that he created the world. Hopefully y'all can get with that, man. A lot of people can't because they don't want to be responsible for their lives. I'm fully responsible. That woman back there, those kids back there, I'm fully responsible for everything that they are and everything that they will become. It's my responsibility, and I own that. It's the number one thing I believe about me. The number two thing I believe about me, or the second thing I believe about me, is I can do all things. I can do all things. And when I say all, I mean all with a capital A, capital L, capital L. I can do all things. This is what I believe about me. I don't know what you believe about you. This is what I believe about me. I can do all things. Right? Very important. What do you believe about you? What do you believe about the people around you? What did the people around you believe about you? Because these are the things that are shaping your reality right now. Right? Third thing I believe is that everything the sun touches belongs to me. Everything the sun touches belongs to me. I got that from the Lion King. I just like that. But the book I read says, everywhere the soles of my feet shall tread are given to me. That's what I believe. I don't know what you believe about you. And that's why I said, if you get number one right, 2 and 3 is just icing on the cake. If you get number one right, where you don't waver in what you believe about you, what you believe about others will also be the same way. Because what I believe about my children is that I believe that they are gods under the Most High God. What I believe about them is that they can do all things. What I believe about them is that everything the sun touches belongs to them also. So I treat them as such. That's the same thing I believe about you. See, what I believe about me determines what I believe about you. And then because of what I believe about me, what the people in my life believe about me don't matter, because I'm only going to be around people who believe like me. But you got to get number one right, and then number 2 and number 3 takes care of themselves. But if you're struggling to get number 1 right, then definitely you got to make sure number 3 is straight, where the people around you believe what you want them to believe about you, that's going to help feed your belief. You definitely got to believe the right way about the people around you so that you can stay in the right lane of your belief, and your belief not double-minded. You believe this about yourself, but you believe so negatively about everybody else. That's not going to work. And then ultimately you get to the place where you believe what you can do, how you can do, and you believe who you are. Right? All right. John L. Simmons says, as long as you're clear on that. Yeah, it's clear on me being a God under the Most High God. Elaborate on that for me, John. So, and here's one of the things that I can't stand, right? As a Christian, I hear people quoting Philippians 4:13 all the time, right? All the time. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Then I never see him do anything. I hear Christians quote all the time, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and then never see them do anything. So I naturally have to question whether or not they really believe they can do all things. Because if you believe you can do all things, you'd be doing something, right? Well, that's just how my mind thinks, right? I can do all things, but then don't do anything. They teach their kids to quote the same scripture, and when their kids quote the same scripture and start going after their dreams and goals, then they tell their kids, don't do that. No, you're not going to have any success over there. Wait a minute. You said you believe you can do all things. So all things means that you could support and help your kids do all things which you told them they should believe. And they start believing they can do all things. They start going after their dreams and goals. You get scared, and then you tell them to not go after their dreams and goals. After you told them that you believe that you can do all things and they believe they can do all things. So again, how you believe, what you believe determines how you think. So you can't tell a kid that you believe he can fly, and then when he starts to try to fly, you tell him to stop because you're gonna hurt yourself. You tell him to stop because 1 out of every 1 million can do that. Wait a minute. Now I'm confused, Mom. I'm confused, Dad. You just said that I need to believe I can do all things. I believe I can do this. And now you're telling me that I should tamper that belief. Which is it? Which one is it, Mom? I don't know how to believe now. I'm confused. So now your children start to say, okay, Mom's telling me, Dad's telling me that I should believe I can do all things, but all things don't really mean all things. All things means there's a limit. So really when Mom tells me or Dad tells me I can do all things, that means I can only do some things. So let me pick the some things that I could do, even though those some things are not the things that I really want to do. Yeah, so we're taught to be creatures of habit. We do things because our parents do them. We have to start breaking the chains of habit and form chains of belief. Yeah. So here's my cycle of belief. So yes, we need to step out on faith and do actions and not just by words. Yeah. Yeah. So here's my cycle of belief. Now I'll give you an example. My son is 5'5", plays basketball, probably 120 pounds. So he's small, right? But he wants to play professional ball. So do I tell him he can't play professional ball after I told him that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you? Do I tell him that he can't play ball? You'll never make it. Might as well give up and start studying something else, doing something else, because you'll never do that. Or do I tell him that what are the percentages of chances that he actually has to make it? First of all, 1 out of every so many make it. And then 1 out of every so many your size make it. So do I tell him that, or do I say, point to examples? Say, okay, that's what you want to do. Here's what it's going to have to be, man. Look at somebody like Spud Webb. Look at somebody like Nate Robinson. Look at somebody like Muggsy Bogues. So yes, there are million, a billion, a trillion and one examples of those his size who didn't make it, and I could point those out to him. But that wouldn't be consistent with you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. What would be more consistent with that and building that belief would to say, okay, it's going to be tough, but if that dude can do it, and I don't even know if that dude had Christ in him, so I don't know, but if that dude can do it, he's your size, you certainly can do it, because I know for a fact that greater is he who is in you than he who is in there. So I know for a fact that you can do it because of who's inside you. Or do I say, bro, got to do something different with your life, bro. You can't spend all this time on the basketball court. If he comes to that conclusion on his own self, then I'm going to say, what do you believe now? Well, I believe I can be a rocket scientist. You sure can, son. Because you can do all things. So What you believe about you is critically important. So here's my cycle of belief. Number one, what you believe determines the words, and the words determine your actions. Your actions will ultimately get results. You have to understand how to analyze those results. You take the good out, build up on them, take the bad out, learn from those lessons, and never repeat the bad. And then based on that, the studying of results, it will cause you to take more action. Right? So I believe, I took actions, I analyzed the results, I took the good out, learned from the bad, and those actions built my belief. So the little bit of good that came out of that built my belief. And because my belief grew a little bit bigger, now I took a little bit bigger, bolder action. Well, guess what? When I take bigger, bolder actions, I get bigger, bolder results. And then I analyze those results. I take the good, build up on the good. I take the bad, learn the lessons from the bad, never repeat the bad. But the little bit of good that came out of that built my belief a little bit more. So now that my belief is a little bit bigger, I take bigger and bolder actions yet again. That's the cycle of belief. Belief in the cycle of success. I believe, because I believe, I took action. Because I took action, I got some results. Some of the results were positive, some were not so positive, but I learned, I took the positive, built on them. I took those that weren't positive, learned the lesson from them and not to repeat them, and that built my belief a little bit more. And because my belief is a little bit bigger, my belief is a little bit bolder, my actions are bigger, my actions are bolder. And because my actions are bigger and bolder, my results are bigger and bolder. So I got more successes, still got some failures, but I take and build on the success, learn the lessons from the failures, not to repeat them. And then that built my belief a little bit more. And as I built that belief a little bit more, now my belief is so freaking huge that I literally, I don't know if you guys hear me, I literally know that I can conquer the world. On the other hand, you have the belief in the cycle of failure. How you believe determines the action that you take. If you are very limited in your belief, you won't take any actions. Therefore, you won't get any results. Because you're not getting any results, then you start to feel more and more like a failure. So that feeds your self-doubt. That feeds your low self-esteem. And when that low self-esteem drops even lower, you take even fewer actions. The even fewer actions that you take means you're really not getting any results. Because you're not getting any results, you're feeling more and more like a failure. And that feeds your self-doubt and your disbelief further. And that's the belief in the cycle of failure. Because you have a lack of, you don't believe. And that comes when you are around a bunch of jokers who also don't believe. People who don't believe that you can accomplish anything, that you can do anything. And because they believe that way, you tend to believe that way. Right? We're creatures of habit. Someone mentioned that in the stream, but we're also social creatures, and we want to and we yearn to fit in. And because we yearn to fit in and we need acceptance, then when you are you are the one optimist in a pack of 9 pessimists, then when you speak optimistically, they're going to jump on you and chew you up. And because you yearn to fit in, then you learn immediately that if I'm going to stick with this crowd, then I need to change the way I speak, because clearly the way I speak goes against the beliefs of this crowd, and I'm never going to fit in. That's why you have to run with people who think like you, who believe like you. Otherwise, you're going to change in order to fit in. I don't want you to change in order to fit in. I want you to change the people around you so that you don't have to change. Now, if you are one of those negative people, then get around a bunch of positive people. And guess what? When you come around positive people with negative thought, you come around positive people with negative thought, they're going to do the same thing that the negative people did when you had your positive thought. They're going to scold you and get on you and say, oh, don't think about it like that. Think about it like this. Oh, see the good, see the silver lining. Oh, well, that could happen, but look at all the positive things that could also happen. And you learn immediately that if I'm going to run with this crowd, I have to think differently. I have to talk differently. And when you think and talk differently, that affects your behavior. Then you behave differently. And your behavior is what gets you the results. And those results allow you to analyze those results. And you say, oh, here's what positive came out of those results. Here's what the negative things. I learned the lessons from them, never to repeat them, but I did learn and abstract the lessons. But then I take and let the positive things feed the belief grows, and that cycle continues. But how you believe about yourself is key. Also key, how you believe about those around you, and how do those around you, what do they believe about you? You get all three of those things to line up. And I promise you, the windows of heaven will open and pour upon you an abundance of blessings, time and time and time again. And I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I know. It's not what I heard. This is what I know. Time and time again. When you start to get those three things to line up, what you believe about yourself, what you believe about others, because what you believe about yourself will feed into what you believe about others. And then if you're trying to believe positive about them and they're just going to stay in the rut, then I cut them out of my circle, because I don't want negative energy in my circle. And then what you believe about you, what you believe about those in your circle will also affect what those around you believe about you. Because once you keep moving in a certain direction and you keep receiving blessings and you keep pouring positive love and light and energy into people, then those around you are going to want to be around you for that reason. As a result, they're going to start thinking of you in that light, thinking about you in that light, start believing in you and on you for those things. And all of those things will lead to you having abundance of joy, abundance of peace, abundance of finance, abundance of sound, solid relationships, and abundance and the overflow of everything positive and good in your life. Now, to have an abundance of positive in your life doesn't mean that there won't be some negative things in your life, but those negative things will be few and far between. They will be small in number in comparison to those things that you have in abundance. Because you have to have that, they have to be there so you can keep balance, right? Light balances darkness. So you will still have some of those things, but they will be small in number when you compare them against all of the positive blessings and things in your life, right? So any questions? Any questions? We can do some questions, some Q&A. Got a couple minutes before I get to work this morning. Definitely hang around like-minded people. I've lost a lot of negative friends because misery loves company, and there is no misery here. Love that, Tanya. Love that. Exactly. You know, and really, you don't really have to X those people out of your life. Those people will X themselves out, because to someone who is pessimistic to the core, positivity or optimistic people are like kryptonite to them. You could want to have them around you so you can try to help encourage and lift them up, but they know that too. And those people don't want to be encouraged and lifted up. They want to be in that misery. So after they bring you around, or they're around you and they see they can't bring you down, then they'll stop, they'll stop coming around. Sometimes though, we'll go chasing after those people when they stop coming around, because we want so bad for them to have and experience some of the joy, some of the peace, some of the prosperity that we're experiencing, but they have to want that for themselves. They have to believe for themselves that they can have that. A lot of people have the talent, a lot of people have the education, a lot of people have the drive to have whatever they want on this earth, but they don't believe that it's in the cards for them. So they'll never get it. Some people are so mixed up about the belief of having prosperity in their lives that they'll never get it. Not because they're not talented enough, not because they're not educated enough, not because they're not skilled enough, but because they don't believe enough. Because they don't believe enough. So with that, guys, I'm your man, H. Cortez, financial health mentor to the working class. This has been fun, as it always is. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for all the shares. Thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel. Comments there as well. So till I talk to you guys tomorrow, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. Peace out, people.